Welcome to Season 2 of Red Sox Digest, the only show where pain, sarcasm, and false hope collide nightly, like a Masataka Yoshida ground out to second. We break down every loss, every meltdown, and the occasional win, with sarcasm, facts, and no front office spin. Subscribe today at redsoxdigest.com or keep wondering how a wildcard team spent an entire offseason avoiding power hitters. And now, here's the crew at Red Sox Digest.
Good evening, sports fans, and welcome to another edition of Red Sox Digest. I am your host tonight, Jim Delfino. Yes, that's right. I'm back again, willingly talking about the Boston Red Sox like a man who keeps touching a hot stove because he thinks maybe this time it'll give me a playoff rotation. At this point, I'm not hosting a podcast. I'm running a support group for people who still think competitive window means something other than please enjoy this 4-2 loss while Craig Breslow explains leverage ecosystems. And of course, we just lost 2 out of 3 to the Baltimore Orioles because nothing says turning the corner like getting smacked around by a team that walked into Fenway and treated it like it was a rental property that already got the security deposit back from. Joining me tonight is Nick Face, who is already mad, which is redundant. That's like saying Fenway has a wall or the Yankees have fans who think every pop-up is a legacy moment. Nick watched this series and lost 3 years off his life, then somehow
I didn't watch it.
Then somehow argued with 7 strangers online and won all 7 arguments in his own head. Also joining me tonight is John Martinello, the man who brings calm reason and then immediately ruins it by watching the Red Sox attempt baseball fundamentals. John watches this team the way a mechanic watches someone pour orange juice into a gas tank. Just silent horror. Full-body disappointment. And also joining us tonight is Tom and Quincy, who somehow still believes he can call into the show and make sense of all this team and what it's doing. Tom watches the Red Sox baseball like a guy trying to return a broken toaster without a receipt. I know this thing worked once, I swear. Let's get into it. Your Boston Red Sox are now 26-35 and 11 games behind the Tampa Bay Rays. That's 11 games. It's not a gap. That's a restraining order from first place. Tuesday night, the Red Sox lose 4-2. Pete Alonso, the guy we should have gotten, hits a 2-run home run. Shane Baz goes 7 solid innings, and Boston's offense does that cute thing where it shows up dressed like a major league lineup, but performs like it's waiting for a ride home from summer camp. Then Wednesday, they win 8-1, and everybody gets tricked again. Wilyer Abreu goes deep, drives in 3. Peyton Tolley throws 6 scoreless innings, and the lineup wakes up, and suddenly Red Sox Nation is standing in the mirror saying, maybe we're back. No, we're not back. You found a $20 bill in jeans you haven't worn since 2003. It feels good, but you're still broke. And then today happened, an 8-2 loss where the Orioles scored 6 runs in the first inning. Yes, 6 in the first. That's not a baseball game. That's a mugging with a national anthem. Brian Bayo came out there and immediately turned Fenway Park into a batting cage of craft beer. 12 Orioles came to the plate in the first inning. 12. That's not an inning. That's a company retreat. Colby Mayo hits a bases-clearing double off the monster. Taylor Ward gets 3 hits. Trevor Rogers carries a no-hit bid into the 5th. And the Red Sox offense once again looks like it's trying to assemble IKEA furniture with oven mitts on. Wilson Contreras drove in both Red Sox runs, which is nice, except one guy driving all your runs in an 8-2 loss is not a spark. It's a candle in a sewer. So after 3 games with Baltimore, we got one night of hope sandwiched between 2 fresh slices of same old crap. Tuesday, they couldn't hit. Wednesday, looked alive. Today, they got buried before most people could find their seats. This team doesn't lose normally. They lose like they're trying to get nominated for an experimental theater award called What the Fuck Was That? One day it's a clear win. Everybody hits. The starter deals. The bullpen doesn't turn into a municipal landfill. The defense looks like it's seen baseball before. And for about 24 hours, you start lying to yourself again. You sit there like an idiot. You know what? Maybe this is the start of something. No, it's not. It's never the start of anything. It's the Red Sox equivalent of finding one dry sock in a flooded basement. Congratulations, pal. Everything else is still ruined. Then the next day, they come out and give up 6 runs in the first inning. Before your coffee's even cold, the game is basically over. You're sitting there at 1:52 in the afternoon looking at the TV like, are these people drunk? Seriously, what the hell are we doing here? Were they trying to win? Are we developing? Are we rebuilding? Are we retooling? Are we evaluating internal options? Or are we just letting random guys wander in the clubhouse and seeing if Nesson can spell their name correctly by the 5th inning? Because I don't know what this is anymore. This team has no identity. None. They're not scrappy. They're not powerful. They're not fundamentally sound. They're not young and exciting. They're not veteran and steady. They're just baseball soup. A big lukewarm bowl of nonsense with a utility infielder floating in it. And every time they actually do something well, they follow it up by stepping on a rake and knocking their own teeth out. They win 8-1 on Wednesday, and you think, okay, maybe there's life. And then today, they immediately get shoved into a locker by the Orioles like a freshman carrying a clarinet. 6 runs in the first inning at Fenway against the Orioles? That's not a bad start. That's a cry for help. That's the baseball version of your pants falling down during a job interview. And the worst part is you can feel the excuse machine already warming up. Well, it's a long season. No, it's not. Not when you keep playing like an idiot. We saw some encouraging at-bats. Great. Put them in the museum next to the moral victories in the framed picture of 2018 because that's all this organization has left at this time. The underlying metrics suggest. Shut up. Please, for the love of God, shut up. I don't want to hear about underlying metrics when the scoreboard looks like somebody dropped a piano on the head in the first inning. I don't need a dissertation from the Department of Baseball Pretension. I have eyes, and they work. Unfortunately, I use them to watch this crap. This is what drives people insane. It's not that they lose. Bad teams lose. Mediocrity teams lose. Fine. It's how they lose. They lose in ways that feel personally insulting. Like the team looked at the fan base and said, you know what these people really need on a Thursday afternoon? Immediate emotional damage. It's like watching a guy pass a driver's test on Wednesday and then crash into the DMV on Thursday, get out of the car and tell the cop, actually, the process was elite. No, it wasn't, you jackass. You're in the building. And now after getting embarrassed by Baltimore, again, they head to New York to face the Yankees. Oh, is that perfect? Because apparently the schedule makers looked at this fragile little baseball piñata and said, you know what they really need help? Let's hang it in Yankee Stadium and let Aaron Judge swing at it like a telephone pole. Outstanding. That's exactly what this team needs. Emotional trauma with pinstripes. A nice relaxing weekend in the Bronx where the fans smell blood and Yankees smell weakness. The Red Sox show up looking like they packed for a hostage situation. And you know what? Maybe they'll win one. Maybe they'll win 2. That's the sick part of this whole thing. The team is just annoying enough to do that. They'll stumble in the Yankee Stadium, win a game 5-3, and suddenly everyone's pretending the corpse twitched. And then 2 days later, they'll lose 11-2 because someone forgot how to throw to second base and the bullpen turned into a wiffle ball machine. That's the 2026 Red Sox, folks. Hope, humiliation, repeat. A little offense, a little disaster, a little maybe they figured it out, and a lot of nope, still stupid. Look, I've said enough. It's time for Nick and the word of the day.
And now it's time for Nick Face's Word of the Day!
I could be a smart blank right now, but in case others are watching, I won't. I'll just stick right to the point. And I'm actually going to go right to a dollar figure is my word of tonight. A dollar figure amount. I wonder if you guys know where I'm going with this. I'm going to give you the value right now. It is 100 million. Anybody want to buy a vowel? Anybody want to guess what that is? 100 million is the amount of dead weight contracts that are now in Worcester, thanks to Christian Campbell and now Brian Bayo. Congratulations, guys. Let's get the round of applause thing going. We definitely need that. Really, we need that. What an absolute cesspool this is right now. we have our group chat that we talk back and forth and go over the games and stuff like that. I don't know who chimed in first today, but as soon as someone chimed in and said, "Oh, dear God, Bayo again for the first inning," I'm sorry, guys. Love you all to death. I tuned out for the rest of the day. Done. Much like it's been for the entire season so far. We want to talk. We want to enjoy a season. But I find myself getting way too frustrated by getting emotionally involved with a team that doesn't give a flying shit. Players that can't be accountable. And I'm sure we're going to go over Bayo's presser later today. Personally, me right now, I'm just going to say right now, I never want to see Brayan Bello again in my life as a Red Sox. I'm done. I don't want to see him again. I want him out of here. I want a ticket on the next plane, ship him off to Siberia. I'm done. That's where it is right now, because I can't trust this organization moving forward anymore with their nonsense that they have going on. And probably like you guys, you probably say to yourselves, probably how I do too, why do I even care? Why am I involved? Why does it matter when ownership and players don't care? Majority of them. There are some that do, but the majority don't. And they don't know how to be professional major league players. Case in point, you got Romeo and Juliet right here, the two of them, banging around the town of Boston. That's what they care about the most. It's just there's no leadership. There's no person that is keeping people accountable for being a major league player. It should be a privilege, guys. It should be a absolute privilege and a major accomplishment to be be a Red Sox and be in Major League Baseball. Not here. Not here. It's a clown show. It's a clown show. The other thing I wanted to mention on this $100 million word of the day for me tonight makes Rusney Castillo look like a bargain, guys, doesn't it? We sent him out of here with all that. But yeah, that makes Rusney Castillo a bargain compared to your two now epic failures, Christian Campbell and Brayan Bello. And I personally don't think we're ever going to get the money's worth out of either of them. I don't think Christian Campbell will ever make Major League Baseball again. Not with the Red Sox. Nope, not here. Brayan Bello back as a Major League pitcher with the Red Sox? Hell no. First of all, if it ever came up, we'd all laugh and we'd never have any trust again. The trust is gone. So good luck in Worcester, Brian. Good luck, you POS. That's all I got. I could go on and on and on, but that's my thing. I'd love $100 million to do nothing. I think we all would. Wouldn't that be great? Or to suck up the house. That's my phrase of the night. We'll go with that. Suck up the house.
You know, Nick and guys, it's very interesting because we talk all the time. I've said it for years. Tom said it as well. You know, what is the direction of the team? And, you know, over the course of the last few years, it's been a very common practice to go ahead and try to sign the young guys to extensions and long-term deals so that you can hopefully have, better value, because that's what it's all about with the way that they act now is value. They don't want to pay the $200-300 million contracts. So let's try to get Christian Campbell. Let's try to get Rafaela, Brayan Bello under contract, Roman Anthony under contract, for 50 cents on the dollar. And quite frankly, they can't even do that right. We have over $120 million since 2020. Okay, the last 5.5 plus seasons, over $120 million given to reclamation projects, including guys like Lucas Giolito, Garrett Richards, James Paxton. I can take that list beyond and on. Liam Hendricks.
Sandoval. I got so excited for him.
So it goes on and on and on. There's your Schwarber money, right? So you have that, and now you have $100 and some odd million in the minor leagues of contracts on the major league roster. And to Nick's point, no, Christian Campbell will never see a Red Sox uniform ever again. It'll be a Worcester uniform. and he's likely to be. Look, they can't even trade him. That's the other sad part about this. At least if you didn't give him the money and he was making peanuts, maybe you could make a trade to Tampa or something like that. It's not going to happen. You just completely ruin that opportunity as well. They can't do anything right. Nick's Face the Facts and the word of the day is brought to you by Swing and Miss Life Insurance. Protect your loved ones from emotional damage caused by watching Red Sox hitters chase sliders in another zip code. Swing and Miss Life Insurance covers 3-pitch strikeouts, bases loaded failures, runners stranded in scoring position, and the trauma of hearing good swing path after a guy hits 208. Swing and Miss Life Insurance, because this lineup may not protect the plate, but will protect your family. And now we're going to move on to the Martinello Minute.
And now the part they don't want said out loud. No spreadsheets or corporate spin, just the truth. Raw and impatient. This is the Martinello Minute.
I forgot the graphic on that one, so I'll just put that up there for a minute for everybody.
Yeah, so Red Sox, obviously, they dropped 2 out of 3 at Fenway Park, now commonly known as the opponent's most beloved ballpark. Red Sox hitters this season are batting .238 with a .672 OPS at the second most hitter-friendly ballpark in the major leagues.
Yummy.
Listen, 10-21 at your home field is just flat out embarrassing. And to make things worse, the team that just beat you in 2 out of 3 contests, they're the worst road team in the entire league. So I'll just go over this series as simple as possible. Game 1, team forgets how to hit. You lose 4-2. Pretty straightforward. Game 2, they play a complete game of quality baseball and they win 8-1. And then today, this game was over after the first pitch. Brian Bayo was given another chance to start a game because he keeps on reminding us that he is a starting pitcher. The 10.4 ERA, I disagree with that with him, but it is what it is. 45 minutes after the first pitch, Bayo made his way to the dugout after giving up 6 runs. Then he settled in after there's no more pressure. Only gave up 2 more runs over his 5-inning outing. The only credit I can give him, at least we didn't have to burn through 7 innings of using the bullpen today. But I'm sure we're going to be talking about him a lot. But again, Bayo told us after the game that he is a starter. So cut out the crap. He just hasn't been good this year. 45 minutes ago now or so, we get the news he's headed to Worcester, and I'll give credit to the Red Sox on that, to Breslow, whoever made the decision. They finally grew a pair of balls and sent the auto loss down to figure it out. Other takeaways from this series is really just Caleb Durbin, since he's been going to this hitting lab. He's looked really well. I think he's had 6 of his last 7 games. He's had an extra base hit. I don't think he had a hit today, but was spraying the ball all over the field. Willie Abreu remembered that he's allowed to hit home runs, and Peyton Tolley finally got run support. So, it's another series loss, but outside of, if you lost the first 2 and won today, we're not as pissed off. It just stinks that Brian Bayo threw a baseball for our favorite team today. So, I can't be too pissed about it. I said we were going to win 1 out of 3 on our last show. Just, can't get much worse than this at Fenway Park, at least.
Yeah, we'll be talking about Brian Bayo quite a bit later on in the show, but the Martinello Minute is brought to you by Fenway Clown College. Fenway Clown College now accepting applications from anyone who has missed a cutoff man, run into an out, or stared at strike 3 like it was a UFO. Classes now include advanced base running disasters, how to turn 1 error into 3, and bullpen management for people who hate peace. Fenway Clown College, where every graduate gets a red nose, a sunflower seed bucket, and a minor league option. We're going to be moving right along to our next segment, Tom's Takes.
And now, it's time for Tom's Takes with Tom in Quincy.
All right, guys. So I'm not going to ramble. There's a couple things about this team that I just I just can't fathom. This series is just another one. It's like John said, he's like, they lost 4-2, then they won 8-1, and then today and Bayo goes out there, and I sat and I watched this thing, and
Why?
after the first pitch,
Check yourself.
when they fucking rocked it off the center field wall, and I'm like, this game's already over because Bayo has like the winds are out of the sails after the first pitch. The kid doesn't have it in him to try to come back from that. He's a fucking mess, right? So it's like, I didn't like the kid to begin with. And this whole thing of where, well, you got to give him a cushion and put in an opener. And one, I hate the fucking opener. I've hated the idea of an opener for 5 or 6 years now. So now you're going to tell me after you extend this kid out, making, I don't know, $11 million a year, you have to put in someone to start the game for him because his vagina hurts to start. You're going to put him in the second. What a fucking weak human this kid is, right? So, and as far as like sending him to Worcester, send him to the fucking moon for all I care. Like, because people like him and Campbell and all these guys that this team has taken a direction to try to, sign these young guys and, take on some of the years of, service time and, buy back some arbitration. They pick the wrong fucking guys every time. So it's like, if you're going to do that, I understand it. Economically, I get it. Smart. Lock them up. But you pick the wrong fucking ones every time. So now with Campbell, who, by the way, was this prize to the line drive, whatever the fuck those people are called, when they held that press conference last year. And it was it's because of his commitment to learning and hitting and doing what we want. No, he fucking signed the check and you told him, you follow this and you will be the fucking face of the franchise and go forward. So he did. Turns out the kid sucks, right? And maybe he's very talented, very athletic, very possibly he's athletic. But this team has a uncanny ability to fuck up talent, right? And I don't know if it's just they see something or they kids come out with certain skills, but then they want to make those skills go away and make them do something else. It's perverse at this point because it's not a one-off. This is happening over and over and over again. I love Roman Anthony. And Maya, I was out on Jim. Me and you talked about this when they drafted that kid. We started hearing about this. Oh, highest draft pick ever. They fucked that up. All right. He fell to number 4 because of his injuries. And what has he done since he came? What was that? That was 5 years ago, right? So, I mean, and we're still waiting for him to learn how to hit left-handed. Give me a fucking break. Okay. I go, they continuously.
Well, he has to practice short before he can play it.
But they continuously just like trip themselves up. And it's just, their thinking is so inconsistent. And they're going to go this route. And then they have to back off that route because the way that they thought they could do it doesn't fucking work. So where we're at right now with them, with the big 3 that became the big 4 with Teal. Teal's gone. Maya seems like he can't play. Anthony can't stay healthy, and Christian Campbell might not ever sniff the majors again. So something that we were told for 4 or 5 years, just wait till they come up, wait till they come up. They've all come up, and now none of them are good. So when none of them are good, and you have banked on this, they basically told us when we were like, you got to go out and you got to land free agents. You got to go out and spend some money. No. We don't have to spend money because we have all these kids coming. And they're all going to come up together. And it's all this, like it was fucking Evans, Rice, and Lynn, all at one time. And we all had feelings about that going, you'll be lucky to hit maybe 1. 3 of them? 4? Are you out of your fucking mind? So now that they've neglected and change philosophies where they're not going to spend money anymore, you've taken away like any kind of blanket you may have had, any kind of security you may have had if these kids failed. So now they've failed. I'll say it. They've all failed so far. Yep. And you have nobody to step up. If you sign veterans, any kind of veteran, keep leadership in the house, which they could have fixed half their fucking problems this year if they just re-signed Bregman. Right? They had fucking veteran in the clubhouse, respected, watched after the younger guys. Not that I think that people should have to fucking do that, but nowadays you do. Bunch of fucking pussies. So you have to have a guy like a voice, an adult voice in the room. They don't have that. They fucking fired the manager. They shit canned the whole staff, Veritek, and all these guys. Now you have a coaching staff that I plead ignorance on. This third base coach, AA coach that was running out, he was at the mound yesterday. I don't know what the hell was going on with that.
He wanted to pitch.
I don't know what the hell it was. He's like, maybe I can give it a shot, something. Like, what the fuck? So it's like, I get frustrated and people are like, they give me a hard time. Like, why do you get so mad? It's like, if you tell me what direction you're going, okay? If you say, hey, listen, this is what they're going to do. We're not going to do this. We're not going to spend for pitchers over 30. We're not going to do this. We're not going to go 5 years. We're not going to do this. And they come out and they start that way. And then they miss out on the guys that were already in-house. And then they trade away the guys because the contracts are too big. And then you come out today, and I have to listen to Busta Olney say, yeah, they're willing to take on bats now with bad contracts. Like, with all due respect, what the fuck are you doing over there? Like, what are you doing? They don't
I have no idea.
Nick, they don't fucking know. They think they do, and then when it fucking fails in epic fashion, they have to back up. And they go, oh, maybe we should have now we have to go sign who the fuck ever. Was it Castellanos got yesterday? Was that him, I think?
You know that's coming.
You fucking watch. He'll be here by Friday. So it's just like
it's a long drive to write. Oh, sorry, Tom.
It's
there's a deep fly to left by Castellanos.
Seriously, it's a pop up. It's just like it's so frustrating. It's like I don't want to wake up every fucking day and see some historical stat on how bad this team is. And it's not like the fucking Devil Rays or whatever expansion team, if even the fucking Mariners, say the Mariners, right? They've been around for what, 40 years or something? You get a team that's been around for like 130 fucking years, right? And after every fucking loss, there's a new historical stat on how poor they are. And it's like, so like the one I heard yesterday was like, all right, after 29 games, they're 9-20. Worst home record after 29 since 1932, right? And then I heard one today that today was the first time that a pitcher faced 12 batters in the first inning since 1920. So it's like, at what point can you fucking assholes recognize that the roster you constructed, which is by far the worst I have ever seen in my life, ever. Like, ever. And people are like, oh, the 92 this and the fucking 2012. Those teams had players I fucking actually want to watch. The only people on this fucking team this year that I actually want to watch is Early and Tolley. Tolley specifically. I fucking love that kid.
Totally agree with you, Tom. Totally.
Oh, I love him. Love him. Yeah. But this lineup, when Isaiah Kiner-Falefa is your veteran voice to talk to the media about what's going on in the fucking team, you are so fucked, it's not even fucking funny. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa is who they went to and said, what's going on, why you can't play at home? And then he has to try to, cryptically say, well, I don't know. And he just doesn't want to come out and say, well, the young guys don't give a fuck. They don't know how to be professionals. Like, like Nick says, like they're out hanging and banging in Boston, which, hey, you're 21 years old. Have at it, dude. But
they're getting around. I'll tell you that. They're Marvin Gayeing it up.
their eyes are on the wrong prize.
Mm-hmm.
Do your fucking job. You want to go out and hook up and go to bars and get free shit and free drinks and free hotels and hook up with all kinds of girls. Good for you. Be a single 21-year-old multi-millionaire athlete. I get it.
Yeah,
At the end of the day, your job is to play baseball. And it doesn't seem like any of these young guys that they've brought up in the past couple of years are equipped
Roman's
to do.
too busy. He's got tattoo appointments. He's got to stick needles in his arms and make sure he's all decked out because his idol, Jaron Duran, is his big influence now.
Yo, the other fucking idiot, that guy.
Yeah, the other part about that too is that I don't understand how you don't have an owner that turns around and says, I need to speak to you in my office and say, I just gave you $150 million. You got to stop this. None of that is there too. I was a big proponent for Roman Anthony not going to the baseball classic because I says, if I'm John Henry, I don't want him getting injured there. And right. I took heat on Twitter. Oh, but he's going to learn from all kinds of other guys that are there. It's going to be good for him. Well, you know what? It didn't do anything because his season stunk so far. And then he gets injured. So it's not going to matter.
Jim, you took heat on Twitter. Get out of here.
Yeah, I know. Can you imagine?
That's absurd.
Tom and Quincy is brought to you by Quincy Complaint and Battery. Do you live on the south side of Boston and wake up every morning already annoyed with the Red Sox? Then come down to Quincy Complaint and Battery, where we recharge dead fan morale and replace the corroded terminals in your baseball pole. Services include jump-starting your rage after a lifeless 4-2 loss, testing whether your optimism skill holds a charge, and replacing any battery drained by a 6-run first inning. Free diagnostic scan when you say, I've had enough of this crap. Quincy Complaint and Battery, because Tom's takes don't run on sunshine. They run on aggravation, Duncan, and yelling at Nesson.
Legit. I got one of those things that fly around out front, the little thing with.
I want to go over a couple of our talking points.
It swears at you when you come by. It's gonna.
Tom kind of already went on this a little bit.
Sorry.
No worries. But Isaiah kind of Falefa, the adult in the room, he's basically said the Red Sox feel tighter on the road, but Fenway has too much noise, too many people, and a weird vibe, which is amazing because IKF was supposed to be a utility guy, not the guidance counselor. Honestly, might be right. This team plays at Fenway like the building is haunted. The crowd is judging their credit score, and every home game comes with 3 family distractions, 6 media questions, and 1 random guy from ownership pretending everything is fine. Fenway is supposed to be home field advantage. Instead, the Red Sox treat it like jury duty with the Green Monster. I want to get everybody, so I kind of got Tom's take on it already. John, I'll start with you. What are your thoughts on the Red Sox at this point having Isaiah kind of Falefa as the spokesman for the 2026 Red Sox?
Yeah, first of all, when they brought him in, one of their, at the time, Alex Cora's selling points in defending the signing of IKF was that he is a leader, just the nature of who he is as a baseball player. He is a leader, and while I don't, I've been the biggest, not on the show, but I am on the larger side of the I do not like IKF. Why did we sign him? Especially because 48 hours later the Durbin trade happened. But with Wilson Contreras, whenever he talks to the media, it's a lot of talking crap to somebody. You need a voice in there that kind of just levels things out and like it doesn't go after people specifically. And I forget who mentioned it, but kind of cryptically dropping things. Listen, this is a guy he said it last week. I think he's crawling to keep his career going. He gave us a great great week or two. He's 1 for 11 this month. But he has to be the adult in the room because there aren't any other adults. Everybody else on this team outside of Sonny Gray is 23 to 28 years old. Jaron Duran, he's 29, but he acts like he's 14. So I was
going to say 12.
I was going to say actually he's 8, but okay.
But yeah,
Right.
Somebody has to be that voice, and especially
Little
when
temper tantrum.
Story's now gone. I wouldn't call him a leader either, but
Oh, don't go there.
somebody,
Don't.
yeah,
Don't.
no, I'm not calling him a leader at all.
Hold on.
But somebody has to speak, and now, unfortunately, IKF is the guy that has to do it. And it's just, Tom was talking about, what direction is this team going in? What's their plan? They contradict
They just don't
themselves
know.
day in
Always.
and day out. And now here we are 60 games into the season where IKF is the face of the franchise.
Nick, your thoughts on IKF being the spokesmodel for the Red Sox?
I need another hit. Hold on. What was your question again?
Your thoughts on IKF or KFC being the spokesmodel for the Boston Red Sox?
Who?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Woo.
$6 million.
It's a joke, guys. This is insanity that IKF is the de facto Speaker of the House in the friggin' country club of absolute travesty and joke. I know Bregman's not tearing the cover off the ball for the cup. I totally get it. But losing him, Tom, you hit it right there. You lost so much of a voice and a leader that there was respect on identity. I mentioned identity before when we were talking about word of the day and everything, is you have no identity. You have no guy that's been there, done that, proven commodity that can have his bat talk, or a pitcher who can shove and win and is a world champion and actually has that pedigree to him and resume that other players can gravitate towards. You got nothing. And shame on the Boston Red Sox for doing that. And a lot of it starts from obviously our management. I think big time blame. We don't talk about it enough, and it should be. Sam Kennedy is a massive problem why this team is the way they are. Massively. And I said it on Monday, and I'll say it again. The only direction that this team is going to head in a positive one is with Sam Kennedy being reassigned. I know they're going to do that because that's just how they are. I want him fired. Reassigned and out of our lives. Send him to London. Get him out of here. Because this is what happens when you put a nerd in charge of a baseball team as their CEO who has no pulse of how to play baseball, has no pulse of how to communicate with people, has no proven track record of anything. He just kind of got the job handed to him because Larry Lucchino was done. And we're still here 10 years in talking about it. The worst thing that ever happened was 2018, guys. It really was, because that's what set all of this up for failure. You got 1 year out of what, 10? I'm sorry. It's been absolutely unacceptable. And fans need to start waking up. I think there's more fans like us that are waking up and getting it and getting that smack of reality at them on their television screen.
Yeah, I'm not getting as much heat on Twitter, so probably.
Wake up. This is what's going on. We're
you still
shooting
get
from
some.
the hip. We're telling you what the problem is, but yet the Red Sox won't do anything. They won't do anything. It's ridiculous. The other one I want to mention too, I know IKF was the statement, the spokesman with his quote right there. I was not too happy with Wilson Contreras with his quote last night. I don't know if you guys saw that. And you can work a little differently, but I took it a different way. Some took it another way and said, oh, well, he's the only one that's doing anything. Shut the hell up, you moron. Well, here's what he said. I see a lot of people talking shit about us. We need to take that personally. So the reason I chimed in is because I am not the biggest fan of Wilson Contreras in terms of leadership. I think he's a loose cannon and a hothead. I do. Mm-hmm. He's having a very good season. I am not taking that away from him. So far, we said the same thing about Bregman last season too, when he's having a great year. Right now, it's good. I have no problem with that. But it's the way he holds himself that I don't like. I think it's a bad vibe that I get from him, and I think that vibe brushes off to other players on this team.
Absolutely.
That's where I was going with my statement last night before. You little excellent. Oh, you're a different douchebag. Yeah, look at him. Look at his numbers. His numbers are good. Shut up, idiot.
Nick,
No,
you know,
I'm not going to shut up because I'm
Nick,
right.
Nick, here's the one thing. We like players that show emotion. Nick Pivetta showed emotion. Peyton Tolley shows emotion. Peyton Tolley is arguably becoming the face of this franchise.
Oh, love him.
And he fits
love him.
He fits on this team like a glove.
Yep, sure does.
Everything almost like Schwarber, everything bounced off of him. It's just, but the point you're getting at is, that's the issue. You want the emotion, but to your point, he goes the other way, and it gets a little dicey there. I agree with you. Tom, I know you talked on IKF a little bit already in your segment, but any more to add on him in this situation of being the leader?
Well, yeah, there's a couple things I mean no disrespect to kind of Falefa. They've put him in this spot. And as far as Contreras, saying what he says, don't you guys think if there was an established veteran on this team like a Bregman or a Schwarber or I don't know,
or JD Martinez,
Bogarts,
something to that, Bogarts, someone to that degree, right? They wouldn't be talking to Wilson Contreras, right? So now there's no one else to talk to besides Isaiah Falefa and Wilson Contreras. And again, Contreras, he's had a very good year so far. I'm not a big fan of him. I think that he would have been a nice accompaniment to another right-handed hitter.
Yes.
You can't be the heart of your lineup. He can't be the heart of the clubhouse. Like Nick just said, he's kind of a hothead. He's kind of a prick, right? But it's like
bad reputation.
Right, bad reputation. So it's like if you had someone else in that room, Bregman, Schwarber, fucking not Trevor Story, anyone else, Bogarts is perfect. Bogarts never should have left here. All these guys could have been here and stayed here for much cheaper than what they signed in the free agency, but they played fucking games with them all, and they got pissed and they walked for more money. My issue is that we are now forced to, after losses or series losses or blowouts or whatever, we're forced to listen to Bayo's translator, Wilson Contreras just fucking hating the world, and Isaiah Falefa being cryptic and trying to make excuses on why they're not playing so well at home. When the fact of the matter is, if you had adults in that room, again, like Nick said, I love that term, if you had that, we wouldn't have to suffer through every post-game interview with all these fucking guys that in the end, this roster sucks, period. You want to know why you're not winning at Fenway? Because you built the opposite roster that should be playing at Fenway.
Exactly.
And all these young guys, they don't know. They're ass in their elbow. They're not being told how to be a pro. Not that you should have to be taught, but to have some sort of guidance in a major league level, they don't have it. And when the guys are Isaiah Falefa, who he's built a pretty good career, but he's a utility infielder. He's not. Ref Snyder was similar, a very likable guy, but he shouldn't be put in that spot to have to answer to this team. And Contreras, every time you turn around, he's pissed off about somebody. Now he's pissed at the fans. You as a team, you are historically approaching the worst in the history of the fucking franchise. So yeah, fans are pissed. Guys like us get on here and we fucking spout off and say whatever the fuck we want. Deservedly so, mind you. I would say all it took was just re-signing Bregman, and even if they weren't winning games, they'd be winning more than they are now. And all of this clubhouse bullshit with the young kids and the Contreras being bullshit and pissed off about everything, and you wouldn't be asking Isaiah Falefa to answer to it. You'd be talking to Bregman because he is a legitimate man in the room. as
Yeah.
Nick said. That's
and
what they need.
And the other thing, you wonder if Bregman was still here, if possibly Alex Cora would still be here.
He would.
Yeah. Moving right along. Brian Bayo tonight has been optioned. John had it first on our chat. Kind of want to talk a little bit about him as it relates to the failure. I mean, we talked about it a little bit tonight as well, but just to kind of go into it a little bit more. Nick, I'll start with you. Your thoughts on Bayo being, option. Go a little quicker with it just because we've already talked a lot about it.
About goddamn time.
Yeah.
And it's embarrassing because, again, $100 million between him and Christian Campbell are now wasted in Worcester. Can he fix himself in Worcester? No way. Just look at his post-game conference. I'm a starter. There's nothing to worry about. I'm fine. Leave me alone. From his interpreter. That tells me everything I need to know. The guy doesn't belong here. He has zero maturity. He lacks any self-awareness. He lacks any sort of accountability. This is a spoiled, rotten guy is what he is. I'll call him a little boy, actually. He's a spoiled, rotten little boy who's having a temper tantrum right now because he can't figure out how to pitch to start a ball game. He needs his little binky. Let me hold you. A little binky and a little bottle. We'll rock the baby in the first inning to get him through it. Grow up, dude. Grow up.
John, same question to you, but why didn't they just do an opener tonight?
I don't think they did an opener. Just be like, you can't keep relying. You can't rely on, just using him as a bulk guy throughout the entire, that you can't do it every single time. And
his numbers were so good.
I agree. Like and again, like I am on the side of like, if something's not broke, don't fix it. He's 25 in the third innings as a relief pitcher this year, 0.71 ERA, 0.91 WHIP, 213 batting average against. And then as a starter, 35 and 2/3 innings, 10.35 ERA, 221 WHIP. That's a number I don't think I've ever heard before, and a 356 average against. So, like, I get it from the, the internal baseball side of things. Like, eventually he's just got to figure it out. But I don't think that in a rubber match game where you have the opportunity to win your second series at home in the entire season in June is the right day to do that. I would have just gone with an opener. And we have people talking about how, it's a first inning problem. It's just the first inning. It's not just the first inning's horrible. It's a 16.88 ERA. No disagreement there. But it's a 3.75 ERA in the second inning, a 4.50 ERA in the third inning, an 8.71 ERA in the fourth inning, and a 7.04 ERA in the fifth inning. There's no part of him that's been good this year at all. Why the opener stuff thing works, I don't know. I don't have an answer for you. I don't know anybody that does have an answer for you. But the bottom line is somebody's got to fix him. He can't keep doing it in the major leagues. Hopefully, I don't know. I tweeted out earlier. Is it going to be at Phantom IL or is it going to be him going to Worcester? Just figure it out. Go take a month. Figure it out. And like Chad Tracy said it before the game today. And he's not lying when he says this. This team needs him if they're going to compete. The problem is I don't think that they're a competitive team. But in a perfect world where they are, they need him. And when he's pitching like this, you just can't have him up here.
Nope.
Yeah, they've got to figure it out. Couple things. Brian Bayo's salary this year is $6 million. Next year is $8 million. In 2028, it balloons to $16 million. And then he's got 29 as 19. And then in 2030, it's 21. So 6, 8, 16, 19, 21. So his big numbers are coming soon. And if they don't do anything about it soon, it's going to become very expensive. Tom, finish off with you. Your thoughts on Bayo being optioned?
I would say it's about fucking time, honestly. I mean, I've never been on board with him anyway. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, he had a good deal last year. I'm like, he's he's too weak for me. And the numbers you just read off, I think if they had any fucking brain in their head, which supposedly they're a bunch of nerds over there, but bad ones, but maybe get out from under this now and send him to one of these teams that the Red Sox are trying to emulate and let them deal with the 6 million, 8 million, and then they can move on before he gets to the 16, 18, 21, or whatever the fucking Christ you said. Can you imagine paying this guy $21 million? I want to throw up. But it's kind of like the kid he just isn't it, you know? And I remember, I mean, we're going back a bit. Do you remember when the Red Sox extended Bronson Arroyo?
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, it was like
Mr. Key West
at the time, like that money was like, that's a very attractive number for a trade partner because it wasn't crazy money and he was a very solid, established major league pitcher, right? And it was like he served a purpose on that team, and they spun him. Unfortunately, they spun him for Willie Mopena, but they spun him, you know. And then he ended up having another 12-year career, whatever, with the Reds. They need to do something similar with Bayo. You know, they need to find a team that the money is attractive for a starting pitcher, which I don't think he is, but let some other fucking franchise figure that out and try to get something back in return and not pay this guy. Like, I don't ever want to see him again, honest to God. Like, Worcester isn't fucking far enough for me. You know, get him out of my face. I don't need to see him. Send him to the Royals or the Rays or the Twins or wherever the Christ. I don't care. And get something back. Do I care what they get back at this point? No. Just get him out of here. And they say a lot of times, you know, change of scenery is the best thing, especially for a pitcher. Great. Where's the best scenery for him? Because it's not Boston. It sure as fuck ain't Worcester, right? So I think it took far too long for them to really make a decision on him. And I don't think that they're sold on that decision. You know, I think that they're being reactionary again. You know, they stick to the guns for a little bit. And then when he shits the bed, like we all think he did or would, now they go, oh, Jesus. But again, so now sending him out that you committed real money to. So now what do you do with that spot in the rotation? It's just this constant, oh no, we believe in this guy, sign him. They suck. Now we have to move on from him. Drop him to the minors. But there's no one in place because you've already committed to that. So it's like, who takes the spot in the rotation with Bayo gone? I mean, it could be Jim. You could do it. I mean, you couldn't do worse than what he's done this year, in the first inning anyway. So it's like, now what though? So what do you do? So now are you waiting for one of these other fucking rehab projects that you've signed in the past couple of years to be like, well, he might be ready by July. Maybe we can stick Patrick Sandoval or whoever the Christ it is in Bayo's spot. It's just like they're in this constant chasing their tail every fucking week now. And it's just like, the kid shouldn't be here anyway. And now it took till June 3rd, June 4th, June, to see how bad he is. You can't fix him. You can't start games. You have to give him a cushion and all this bullshit. It's just like, at some point, can they get back to actually scouting players, drafting players, developing players, signing players, good players, not what they've been doing the past 5, 6, 7, 10 years. And I think that Bayo being finally optioned maybe is a step in the right direction where some other team sees him and goes, we can use him. See you fucking later, buddy. Like,
yeah,
open to any move imaginable to get him out of here. What do you guys need like some like breathtaking splash to get Bayo out of here? No, get out of here. Have some team pick up the freight. Hit the bricks, dude. I'm all set.
Yeah, you have to wonder what his future. Well, I want to talk about that a little bit later on. I got a little segment on something else, but real quickly, you know, we saw, heard, so much about Bayo working with Pedro Martinez. What has that done for him? And also, too, bringing him down to the minors now, what is that going to really do for him? It's a question we just don't have the answers to, but we have to move on. Going to go into pitching probables next. The Boston Red Sox obviously have a series coming up with the New York Yankees this weekend, as I mentioned earlier. Friday, tomorrow, it is in New York. 7:05 start, be Sonny Gray against Weathers. Saturday, June 6th, is a 7:35 p.m. start as well. Ranger Suarez against Warren. And then Sunday, June 7th at 1:35 will be early and against Cam Schlittler. Tom, I'll start with you. How do you see that series going?
Oh, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I mean, Sonny Gray might pitch it, kind of might keep it close, maybe. Suarez, I don't know what to think of him. Like, he's so up and down. Early, I like to watch. Schlittler is nasty. And no one on this team can hit, which I think it's going to come down to. They're not going to win these games 2-1, 3-2. You know, they're going to have to offensively produce. And I just don't think that they have it in them to do that. So I could see maybe keep it close in two of them. But honestly, they might get swept right out of the building. And Friday night, they might just get absolutely lambasted just because they look so fucking awful right now. And it won't be Gray's fault if that happens.
Yeah, I don't like Sonny Gray in Yankee Stadium anyway. Nick, your thoughts for the series?
3-game sweep, New York
Yeah.
Yankees. Done, done, and done. That's how it's going to be. However, last time the Yankees were in town for the Red Sox series, there was a certain meeting that happened that resulted in the coaching staff getting tossed.
Yep.
I told you on Monday. I told you.
And Devers was also traded after a Yankee series too.
Yeah.
John,
I told you guys. Be
your
prepared.
thoughts on the series?
Yeah, I mean, listen, Red Sox have hit really well on the road, and specifically on the road against left-handed pitching. The problem is, for tomorrow at least, you have Sonny Gray coming into Yankee Stadium. Listen, Yankee fans, as much as none of us like them, they are, for a little bit, they are smart, knowledgeable baseball fans. They know who Sonny Gray is. They know what he did in a Yankee uniform. They are going to be on his ass. So I'd like to say that they win tomorrow, but it also wouldn't be surprising to me if Sonny Gray just loses command, doesn't have the composure. But I think the Red Sox are going to hit Ryan Weathers. I think they'll hit him pretty well. That Saturday game against Will Warren, Red Sox have hit Will Warren really well, specifically last season. So, you know, there's a couple familiar faces in house, just like from last year. So tomorrow I'm up in the air about it. Saturday, I think they win with Ranger Suarez on the mound. And then on Sunday, Cam Schlittler is going to throw a perfect game against the Boston Red Sox. So I got 1 out of 3. Iffy on
John, you're on record for that.
I am. I'm iffy on tomorrow. I think they win Saturday, but Sunday they are definitely losing. And it won't be Connolly Early's fault, like Tom said.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 1 out of 3 as well. I think the Red Sox will win one game. The question is, I don't know which one, because I don't think Connolly Early's going to be the GOAT here. I don't think Suarez is going to be responsible. I don't know about Sonny Gray. I have less faith in him than I do Suarez and Early. So I think this is going to come down to some bullpen, disasters. You're probably going to have, I don't know, somebody coming out of that bullpen.
The Yankee spy, Greg Weissert.
Yeah, and Weissert will come out, give up a walk with the bases loaded and a grand slam, and something like that will happen. So that's how we're looking at that.
Can I say one thing real quick?
Yeah.
I think when you start comparing, what guys in the lineup or what they did last year compared to this year or whatever it was, like some guys have good numbers against this. I just think that this lineup is just so bad that I have a hard time going back like, well, they might have done all right last year against, I can't do it. Like I can't be like, well, they did pretty well against them last year, because I think the whole fabric and the whole fucking makeup of the team from last year to this year, just by Devers is not there anymore, Bregman's not there anymore. I think it's tough for me to be like, well, they hit him pretty good last year. There's no one on this team that gives me any hope that they can like haul back to what maybe they did a year ago. I just think that they're a lost cause at this point, and they're going to have to just play out the string of however many fucking games are left, which is going to probably give me a stroke a couple times. But it's just like, I envision a bad weekend for the Red Sox, regardless of how some guys may have performed against the Yankees pitchers last year or prior. That's all.
Yeah, very true. Just moving on, because for time, really quickly, another note here. The Red Sox are aggressively looking for a right-handed power bat. Kind of goes again what we've been saying. They don't want to spend the money. Now they want to spend the money. And now they're on record for saying that they'll actually take on a bad contract, which I think is absolutely outrageous. It's basically like wiping your ass and then taking a shit. They don't have any common sense in anything they're doing. 30 seconds, John, your thoughts on that comment?
All what that tells me is just that Breslow is fully understands that he's done, and he's going to do whatever he can within the John Henry, green light, red light realm, to, try to win ball games. And
John, who do you go after? Who do you go after?
Matt Chapman comes to mind for me, but outside of that, it kind of gets blurry.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he's going to do something in an effort to, get this team on track. And, just because of how bad the American League is, that window, I guess, is open. But, if this team stumbles, even if this team stumbles in somehow into a playoff spot with, 83, 84 wins, I think we've kind of seen at this point from comments from, David Ortiz, from John Henry, from sources that John Henry is pissed off. I think that there's really nothing that Breslow can do to save his job, but I think he's going to do whatever he can to do it. So I'm interested to see what this power bat thing is, because I don't know. It makes no sense. Again.
Yeah, that's the problem. If it's going to be if it's going to be based on a career-saving move for Breslow, it's basically just putting gasoline on a fire, because now you're going to take on a contract that's going to make this team worse.
So
Tom, your
stupid.
thoughts on this power bat option?
I find it absurd.
Mm-hmm.
I find the whole thing so ridiculously absurd. So you already had guys here that you could have just re-signed to not have to worry about this. But they have to go through the song and dance and say, well, it's all cost this and cost that, and we're not doing this. And now you're going to turn around now to me, this season's lost. Like, you're going to do this now? Like, what you should have recognized is that you have a really good pitching staff, and you should have stocked the fucking offense, which you decided to totally bail from. Stock the offense. They have no offense. No. So now you think turning around now and taking on some ridiculous contract. And I heard Sean say Matt Chapman. I mean, I don't know what kind of money Matt Chapman makes, but I mean, isn't he? I mean, defensively, he's ridiculous. Third baseman, right?
Yeah.
So he's better than that fucking stiff we have over there, Durbin. What's he batting? 160, 170? Chapman's batting what? 220-ish? So I don't want them to make any move for any kind of bat, because this season's useless. They should have made this decision in the off season. And if they want to go back to actually spending and getting power bats and doing all that, wait till this year's fucking over and see what's available. I see no point whatsoever now to try to buy.
Yeah.
Unload all these fucking assholes on this team that you could actually maybe get something for. Go that way. You should be selling, not fucking buying.
Yeah, I agree with that. And, what kind of bad, I heard some different things floating around. obviously we heard the Mike Trout crap. We heard Manny Machado's name came up today. I mean, these are just ridiculous things because you're just going to take on money and you're getting guys that are going to be on the wrong side of their careers. Nick, 30 seconds.
I have some swampland that I'm looking to sell behind my house. If anybody's interested, I'll offer it up for a song.
Exactly. All right. Before we do comments, I want to just do piece of take. This is a segment I created with an outrageous take that could happen, but probably won't. So it's just a little bit of fun. But here's my piece of take for today. Tom Gordon, John Smoltz. How about Brian Bayo being groomed as a closer? They're going to trade Aroldis Chapman, I think. And even if they don't, he's done at the end of the year. Do you think, 30 seconds, do you think it's an outrageous option? Do you think it could happen? Do you think he could be successful at it? Tom, I'll start with you.
No.
Okay, that's it. Nick.
No.
Clean sweep, John?
No.
Moving on.
It's a thought. He's good in the bullpen. Maybe he could be a closer. I don't know.
Mm.
All right.
I say no just because in any situation where there's any ounce of pressure, this guy
he's gonna buckle.
It's a 16 ERA with no pressure. It's a 16 ERA.
Yeah.
Jim, are you our dugout dipshit of the night?
Come on now. I got to create something to keep a little bit of, outrageousness here to get you guys going. So that's an outrageous one right there. All right,
you got that right.
Time for some comments. We hit a new high with comments, over 117 today. So
because I was nice to the good people.
Yeah, so, but that's awesome. That's a new high for us. Let's go through some of the major ones. Bayo, trade him to Japanese. Yeah, probably. I don't know if that's going to work or not. Betty says Bayo needs help. He needs to help find out what's going on with the first inning when he fails. All their innings are good, quality pitcher. Something needs to be fixed, not demoted. I could accept it for helping him. They're not. I mean, you've had Pedro Martinez. You've had Andrew Bailey. Nothing's working for him. Nothing's working. So I don't know who in Worcester is going to fix him that Pedro and Andrew Bailey could not.
I think Betty needs to come at him with the whipstick. In my opinion.
Just better than you says no more Bayo. Rejoice. You see his interview. Guy needs to accept responsibility and grow up. He's a clown. Absolutely, yes. 100% accurate.
I agree with that.
Also, La Sorsa is a great acquisition. Obviously, it's a joke. Yeah, this is the guy that came from parts unknown.
Tommy Lasorda.
Right? Yeah, Tommy Lasorda. Yeah, he's cooked. He won't be a Red Sox again, even after helping his family with visa issues. Yeah, it's a clown show with him. Red Sox live in North Korean nepotism. Also, where's Casas? Casas is also part, Tom, of that great four. He's part of these, like number 5. Because remember, for many years, Casas is coming like Santa Claus.
Yeah, Jim, I'm pretty sure
he's the new popcorn vendor in Worcester.
I'm pretty sure, Jim. How many conversations do we have about Casas?
7,000.
None positive.
Not one. And still
He's
not.
opening up a nail salon next to Fenway Park.
I think we're going to have to start looking to see who's more injury prone, Casas or Roman Anthony at this point.
Casas is he's an all-time twat.
Betty says, love you, Nick, and I love what you say. Even if I don't agree, I always respect and enjoy what you say. Thanks very much, Betty. Nick appreciates it. He's bang on. He's untradeable. I think so too, but you never know. There's teams out there that think they can fix that. Look, the Red Sox thought they could fix a bunch of people too, so you never know.
That list is long.
So sad about Campbell. They ruined him. They absolutely ruined him. The guy, they should never give him that money. They completely screwed him up, just like they've done many players. Swing and miss life insurance. I'm glad someone liked that one. He looks like Timmy Scary Spice. Just better than you says, out of these 4, Nick, my favorite, he doesn't pull punches. All right, Nick, you got a lot of fans there.
A lot of fans, Nick.
There is something wrong with him mentally and physically. Find him a shrink. You know what? He probably does need it, Betty. That's the bottom line.
They all do. The whole team
Thank you all
does. They
for the
need a
comments.
freaking
We appreciate you all.
psychiatrist.
No problem. You guys are great. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. San Francisco Giants call their team clowns too. Listen, they've got a lot of clowns on that team as well. Baltimore swept the last series.
They got a lot of ball and grinders on that team, if you know what I mean.
Giants are much, much better than us regardless. There's quite a number of teams that are better than us. Whoa, the F-bombs. Well, it happens every once in a while. This is some passion. Bury them.
I tried to get his mouth washed out with soap after we're done, so don't worry.
I tried to knock it down a little.
Yeah, you did. You did. There are some ones
by
that
two.
Another Mookie. Oh yeah, I know. It's obviously Roman Anthony. He's rapping in a bubble wrap now. He walks the streets like he's a top G. Yep, that's how it is. You get $150 million and you can start, doing whatever you want. I guess.
You got one girl on the one girl on the other.
Bayo is a head case. He certainly is. I hope they can fix Roman soon.
That's what the ladies say.
Yeah, is he a sailor?
They're trying.
Yeah, he's the power right hand. I guess so. Moving around, 1920 Yahoo. We did it. We break records, baby. Yeah, we break records for the wrong way is the problem. Betty says Toley's an amazing person. He's fun to watch. I think if you ask most Red Sox fans this season, he's the guy that probably is the one guy you'll stop and watch.
I love him.
Team. I mean, it used to be Manny. You wouldn't go get a snack. You wouldn't go to the bathroom if Manny was up. If David Ortiz was up.
Nope.
You know what? One of the amazing things about Toley is that every time they talk to him, I'm like, he's 22 years old. He looks like he's 45. Like, he's just this huge, lumbering dude with the mustache and stuff, and like, he looks like he's a few years younger than me.
Yeah,
22.
Yeah,
20.
He's
22.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's like, oh my god,
that mustache is the bomb, right?
Oh, it's fantastic. Look at him.
Yeah.
He's
I know. He looks older than I do.
He's 22. He's my daughter's age. He's like, wow.
There are younger pictures of younger pictures, but minor league pictures of him. He looks completely different without the mustache, to be honest with you.
Yeah, probably ages him a little bit. I like it though. He's a hot shit.
He's the best thing going right now for this Red Sox team. Trade
100%.
Chapman to the Dodgers, get Dalton. Hot take. I don't care. John, what do you think of that?
I'll take Dalton rushing. Absolutely. Yeah. Why not? I'd want for Chapman going over there. I'd want rushing plus, mid-level prospect to be named, something, it doesn't have to be anything crazy, but he's worth more than just rushing, but rushing is a guy that I would definitely target because the guy gets like 10 at-bats a week over there.
Dumbest take of 2026. Gotta be my piece of take on Bayo. IKF was an embarrassment. He's like one of your better hitters right now. That's what so the really sad part is. ZE says a $6 million baby. Yeah, well, he's put in a tough spot too because he's probably looking at this team and like, what the hell am I doing here? I signed for $6 million, and this team is a clown show. And Bregman probably thought the same thing. Like, this team is a clown show. I don't want to be here anymore either. Wonder what the other reason Bregman didn't sign. That's probably it because it's a clown show. Jules said, "Yeah, bad extensions." Have the Red Sox made an extension on any player in the last 20 years that's worked out? I'm talking an extension now. Bogarts is the only one that comes to mind. I guess you could call Rafael Devers an extension, maybe. But I mean, what other ones have worked out? I don't know.
I don't think any of them have, honestly, because I could say Devers or Bogarts, but they ended up leaving.
Right.
So it's like
they didn't finish.
David Ortiz.
Yeah.
There you go.
Ortiz. Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah,
that's
Chapman.
Yeah, I mean, I understand your point on Ortiz.
So far, Chapman, I agree with you, John. Yeah, I agree with that.
Ortiz was never even Chapman wasn't long-term. I'm talking about like a 6 or 7 year extension on a pre-arbitration guy.
Jim, I think it hinges on Anthony.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'd say that Sadon has worked out for the money that we're paying him so far.
So far.
Yeah, this season. He's
So
probably
far.
the one young guy on this team that's taken a step forward, I would think.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I agree
Abreu
with that.
definitely has. He obviously just doesn't have the contract.
He doesn't have the extension though. Yeah, I'm talking about the extension alone. Just better says you just go spout off, bro. It's goal. I think he's talking about Tom. F the F, F the F. Scary Spice.
Again,
Yeah. Where in the world is Christian Campbell? Now that's actually San Diego. What's his name?
Carmen San Diego.
Yeah. Facts. Amen. He also said he's an MLB pitcher. I'm not sure which one you're talking about. You should have signed Bauer. You know, this thing comes up all the time. I don't know.
No
one's going to sign.
No.
Michael says, I'm glad I live in Vegas where I have 5 teams to root for, California, 1 in Arizona. I mean, look, you know, you're going to be getting the A's soon. And here's a team that's like fighting for the division, and they don't even have a town. 58 overall, Boston Red Sox. 58 wins? Is that what you mean? I don't know. What's the over and under on 58? What do you guys think?
Oof.
50.
I mean,
Close.
58.
I have it in the
50,
highs.
55 of it's from the pitching.
I know.
Yeah,
agree.
I mean, I would say, I mean, 58. My God, if we're at that realm, like maybe we are. I don't know. The pitching will save them from 58, but I would say 70, maybe.
70, I think, is pushing it. I think they're going to be in the maybe
68.
68 to 72, I think, is the range.
I think this is going to be worse than 2012. I've said that before. I think you're going to be, because they were 69 wins for 2012. So I'm looking at like 65, 66 for this team.
Yeah, I could see it. It's gross.
I could see it too. $6 million into 16. He's talking about the Bayo contract. Yeah, get him out now. Absolutely. And then, yeah, it does. It balloons to that 21 on that last year. It's crazy.
Yeah, the 21's a club option though, which is nice.
Yeah,
okay.
you need that. You need to get out from under that before that comes around.
People would argue with me that he could be number 2. Yet there's no way. Don't forget, Bayo is a guy that was your opening day starter a couple seasons ago. That
speaks.
sad part.
Corey
That speaks
Kluber
more to the
was opening day
team.
start. It doesn't hold too much weight
Exactly.
anymore.
Yeah. So was Matt Clement.
Yeah, I remember him. Oh my God.
Yeah, I was at that one.
Yeah, how about Corey Kluber? Be patient and get Zach Neto in a year. That's a perfect fit. What do you guys think on Zach Neto?
Thumbs up.
I mean, perfect fit in which way? Like what's he gonna command the money? Is that what this is? Like he's gonna get in the pool? Sure. I mean, anyone like a legit.
David Ortiz, new GM. I don't see him taking that role. I don't. No on Chapman. Betty doesn't want.
Why are we liking Zach Neto so much? I don't understand that.
I think it's
defense. He pops 25 home runs a year. He steals 15, 20 bags. Right-handed hitter. Young.
Is his name coming up because he's approaching free agency? Because I don't know about him.
I don't know.
I'm sorry. I'm not excited about that. I'm looking at his numbers right here. Why would we even think about that? It doesn't make sense to me.
He's a good player. I'm a big fan of Neto.
I don't think he would succeed here in Boston whatsoever. I'm out. I'm out on Neto.
I don't know enough about him.
Matt says he's done with everything. He says the franchise is cursed and stupid. We could be on the precipice of another complete disaster of a curse. Who the hell knows? The Mookie Betts curse, right? Why did they
100%.
give Bayo? Why did they give Bayo a contract even? Because, Matt, they think they're the smartest people in the room, and they go ahead and they say, well, this is what we're going to do now. We're going to sign all these young guys to long-term contracts because we're going to be able to get them on the cheap. This is the problem with this team. You go from a team in 04, 5, 6, and 7 that spends money like crazy. Even in 18 they did. 13 they came around. They bought, blue-collar guys in Napoli and Mike Karp and Shane Victorino and Johnny Gomes. And everybody laughed at that team, and then they wind up winning the World Series, and it's like, hey, we figured out something new. Let's start continuing to do that. Then that didn't work, and then they tanked and went into the last place for a couple seasons, and then Dombrowski came and says, you got to spend money again, so they went and did that. let's be honest. You look at the 4 championships that they had, they were top 3 in payroll all 4 of those years. And when they're not in the top 5 in payroll, they are not a contending team. So that's the bottom line. And I don't think it's ever going to happen again. It really depends on Henry, because let's face it. I'm still not convinced that Chaim Bloom and Craig Breslow would not love to hear that they could spend $300 million on a roster. Now, whether they would do it and do it right, it's a different story. But at the same time, I don't think they're given that ability either. I'm not comfortable. Matt says, I'm not comfortable with the team developing anyone anymore.
Here.
You know, Dave Dombrowski was my second favorite GM in this organization. And during that period of time, he got crap all the time because all you're doing is gutting the farm system, and then we got nothing left. And I always say to everybody, tell me one trade that Dave Dombrowski made that you want back. Because
I really lose sleep over losing Anderson Espinosa a lot. I don't know about you guys, but it really bothers me at night.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing with Dombrowski is
daily
that,
basis.
Like, a guy like Dombrowski, he has a shelf life, because you get to the point where you don't have anybody else in the farm system, and I mean that's why I disagree with when they got rid of Dombrowski 9 months after winning a World Series.
8 months after winning World Series.
And then, like Chaim came in, did what he was supposed to do. But it just stinks that you had Dombrowski, and I doubt he wanted to leave.
But I mean, Dombrowski
until he was told
Dombrowski left. He walked out. He walked out. He said, I'm not dealing with this.
He was told he had to trade Mookie Betts.
Yeah. Right. No, Dombrowski wanted to sign Mookie Betts. Yep. And Henry said no. And that's when he realized, he said, I want autonomy to be able to do what I need to do to carry and make this team good. And John said no. And that's when the fight happened. And that was the end of it. Matt says, what's the last decision they made that was right?
Making those little cup things, those souvenir cups.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's it. The only thing. That's it. Those
not the lobster poutine.
I guess
going back,
maybe the 4 corners. Maybe the 4 corners at Fenway, because it's making a ton of money.
Going back to Heinz ketchup.
That's true. Yeah, the ketchup is an important part. I think if you're talking about either a player or management or anything, God, that's a great question, Matt. What is the last decision that they made right?
I mean, it was signing Bregman, but can't say that anymore.
I disagree.
Only if he stayed.
I never wanted Bregman
at the time when Cora said he was a second baseman.
Yeah,
there was a good 48 hours where that sounded really good.
Bregman was not a $40 million player. That's the bottom line.
The last decision that they made right was when they signed JD Martinez. That's it. There.
I think
that's a good one.
Yeah,
that's it.
Because I remember Tony Maserati went off on that. He hated that move initially. He wanted them to get Stanton. And he said, in the past, he's eaten his words on that one, because JD actually, was very, very good. He had a tough 2020, I think it was, but 2018, MVP, it was absolutely, he was Manny Ramirez in 2018. There's no other way to describe what he did other than saying he was Manny Ramirez. I mean,
Martinez really was the main reason why 2018 jived like it did. He lengthened the lineup.
Yep.
It was one of the best decisions they made, and it reminded me a lot of when you had that Manny Ortiz combination. That was
absolutely. And if you remember, in that off season 2017, Nick Carfardo was the guy that was rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
He was the guy that was saying a lot of chatter that the Red Sox should sign JD Martinez, and he had that right, and he's right today. So,
and they held out. If you remember that too, they held out till about mid-March until JD came, because we were all clamoring for him, and then finally it happened.
Yep. Matt also says starting Bayo was a great idea too. Yeah, no, of course. And now Henry supposedly wants to be better. I don't buy it. who we'll have to see. Jules says Steve Pierce. That was a good move. Yeah, certainly.
Great trade addition right there.
You know, depending on what you're looking at, whether it's trade or free agency or whatnot. But that's going to wrap it up for comments tonight. Any of you guys have any last minute things before we wrap up?
You guys ready for Theo Epstein come next week?
I wish. I hope.
Yeah, I don't see that happening, but
I don't either. But if it's gonna, get Breslow out of my face, it'd be fine. You know, he would be a welcome addition. Move that smarmy prick Kennedy to the other side of Fenway Sports Group and go from there.
I will tell you guys right now. Be ready for Monday.
I love it.
I'll be boots on the ground in the Bronx tomorrow.
Nice.
Right above the
make sure
Park.
you duck.
I'll be catching 3 more Ben Rice home run balls.
All right.
You will.
Give us some live streams from the game. That's going to wrap it up for tonight. I'd like to thank Tom, Nick, and John for being on with us tonight. If you haven't subscribed to our digital newsletter, please do so at redsoxdigest.com. redsoxdigest.com. We have articles every day from the game before that are savage, sarcastic, and no front office spin. We appreciate all the comments tonight. Appreciate everybody watching. Again, please go and donate to our cause or get a free subscription. Either way, we'll take your money if you want to go ahead and offer it. That's going to wrap it up for tonight. Have a good weekend, everybody. We will see you on Sunday. Sunday will be our next show, most likely, unless something crazy happens. That will be our 100th episode. Believe it or not. I can't believe we've gotten that far.
I'm sure we'll have a piece of tape for that as well.
So I don't know if we'll have a piece of take for that, but everybody can have a piece of take. So 100 episode coming up on Sunday, and I'm not doing anything special. So, but if anybody else wants to, they can. So have a good night, everybody. Take care.